Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is Ab Blast. My name is Kayla. I am super excited about today's workout. It's very different than what we might think of in an Ab Blast traditional class, like lying on your back. We're gonna be doing some more standing core work and like hovering in tabletop position to work a lot through our obliques today. So our first circuit, we've got two separate circuits. Our first circuit is gonna be pretty much all standing work, and our second circuit is going to be more in our hovering tabletop position on our hands and knees. I am gonna run through all 5 movements of circuit number 1 right now, and circuit number 1 is pretty much gonna act like our warm-up. So that way when we get into circuit number 2, which is a little bit more intense, that is going to really set us up for success. We've got 2 rounds through each circuit. They're gonna be about 6 minutes long each, including our rest time in. Our plan is to work for 45 seconds in each movement and rest for 15 seconds. After we complete all 5 movements, we're gonna take a full minute long rest before we repeat the circuit one more time through. All right, so like I said, circuit number 1 is all standing movements. So the first movement that we're going to start with is a standing knee to elbow. So your arms are gonna be straight out in front of you, and you're essentially going to be marching. You're gonna be pulling your knees up towards your elbows. We don't wanna be drawing down like this. We wanna stay nice and tall through the spine. If anything, we're leaning back a little bit as we're pulling the knees up towards the elbows. So nice and steady, nice and slow, feeling the lower abs lifting, trying not to work those hip flexors. Now, if we want to take that up a notch, you can add a little hop to it, and that will look like this. Adding a little bit of a bounce and a step through, and that's going to increase our heart rate a little bit. That's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is going to be a cross standing cross knee to elbow. So you're going to start with your left hand behind your head, right leg out nice and long. Opposite arm is going to be out at a strong T, and we're going to cross and crunch. Our goal is to pull the elbow to the outside of the knee. So again, we're going to be here for 45 seconds. We really want to work that rotation through the trunk. And then we're going to take 15 seconds rest before we repeat the same exact movement on the other side here. Beautiful. All right, so that will be movement 2 and 3. Movement number 4, we're going to come down into a squat position, a nice wide goddess squat here. We want our knees out and our toes out, getting down as nice and low as we can. Our chest is nice and up. We're going to take your hands back behind your head. We really want to try to get the palms over one another, so it's not just fingertips back here. Understand if your shoulders are tight, you have an injury here, do your best to get those fingertips back as far as you can, but just make sure that we're not rounding forward when we do that. Elbows nice and wide. You're gonna keep nice flat back here as you squeeze from side to side. We're targeting our external obliques. You wanna think about pinching your rib and hip together here. 4th movement, we're gonna come up at that 15 seconds, just give those legs a little break. You're gonna feel the legs and glutes and inner thighs firing up in that goddess squat. We're gonna come back down for movement number 5. You're gonna come into a forward crunch here in standing position. I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see posture-wise here what we're watching for. We don't wanna be moving the butt back and forth like we're doing a thrust. If anything, we wanna pull the tail underneath and think about pulling pubic bone up to the nose as you're crunching forward here. You really wanna flex into the upper abdominals, stabilizing the pelvis. So we don't wanna see this happening, right? That's not gonna be any core work as long as we stay low and we stabilize and you feel like you're literally folding your rib cage in half. That's our 5th and final movement. All right, so like I said, we've got 45 seconds of work through each movement, 15 seconds of rest. We're gonna take a 1 minute full rest after round number 1, and we're gonna repeat it a second time through. While we rest that second minute after set number 2, that's where I'm gonna run through the movements of circuit number 2. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Hands are gonna be straight out in front of you. Here we go. Knee to elbow, 45 seconds here. Chest is up, shoulders back. Nice and tall spine. Now you can stay right here, or if you'd like to introduce a little bit of cardio to it, you can add that little hop, hop, hop. Just make sure those arms stay straight out in front of you. And you might do it for just a little bit here. If you start to feel it's hurting your knees or your form is being compensated or you're starting to pull in with your hip flexors, highly recommend going back to the knee to elbow lift. Making sure that we're staying nice and tall, really working on that posture. You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it out into a little bit wider stance. Arms to a T. Moving into our crossover crunch. Left hand's gonna start behind your head. You're balancing on your left side here. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, crunch and rotate. Lightly tap the toe down so you're not letting your body weight completely shift back into your right leg. Cross over on the exhales. There it is, great job. Touch elbow to the outside of the knee here. Crunch in, curl over and through. 15 seconds. Really feel those lower abs working, doing your best not to overlift the knee. If you're starting to feel that hip flexor turn on, try to come down a little bit more in the crunch through the spine for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and rest for 15 seconds. Ooh, heart rate is definitely getting up on this circuit. All right, right arm back, left arm is long. Take it across, exhale, crunch over. Inhale, open everything up. Beautiful. Again, try not to overlift from the hip flexor. So if you need to get a little lower and round down a little bit more, if this is all starting to take over, that's just fine. Try to target that internal oblique as you're crossing in. Make sure the hand behind the head is staying nice and light and we're not cranking on the back of the neck as we come into that crossover twist and rotation. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 15-second rest here. Feet are gonna go a little bit wider, hip width distance. Heels are in, toes are out. Take your hands behind your head. Again, drop it down. 45 seconds in that side to side goddess squeeze. Try to exhale as you're crunching to your right. Inhale through center. Exhale to your left. So this is not a race. We really want to focus on where we're working from and not letting those legs bounce up or down. Stay low in that squat. Press your knees back. You're going to feel your inner thighs and your glutes firing up as you're holding the spine straight up. Shoulders are stacked right over the hips. Wowzers, you can hear me getting fatigued. We're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Meet back at center. Straighten out those legs. Take a little reset here. 15 seconds to catch our breath. This is our last movement into that forward flexion of the spine, that forward crunch, down and in. Take those hands back, drop it low, back to that goddess squat. Remember, the pelvis is stabilizing as we come forward on that exhale. Push the breath out of your mouth. Keep rounding forward through the spine, deepening those abs all the way down. I'm going to turn to the side here. So if you're not feeling it, make sure the tailbone is pointing to the floor and not back. Think about pulling your pubic bone up to your nose as you're crunching in. We have got 10 seconds. Light hands on the back of the head. Make sure those elbows stay wide so you're getting also a stretch through the chest and shoulders for 5, 4, how low can you go? 3, 2, and 1. Stack the spine up, straighten out those legs. We've got a minute of rest here. You're doing awesome. Good job. Heart rate. Wowzers. I definitely need catch a drink of water here. Right, 45 seconds to left of rest before we start round number 2. Like I said, we might not feel our core like burning up right now, but this is our warm-up essentially for our second circuit, and that's gonna be a lot more core and oblique burn. This is getting our heart rate up, but this is also training our bodies how to engage our core when we are doing standing exercises. So when you're lifting weights, we wanna think about using our abs when we're pushing weights overhead. So we're protecting our spine and that we're also feeling very powerful from our center. Let's take it into standing position. Those arms are going straight out in front of you. We've got 45 seconds. Knee to elbow. Do your best not to drop your arms down to your knee. Pull the weight of the leg up to the arm. Now again, remember, you can stay right here, or if we want to take it up a notch, you can add a little hop to it and bring a little bit of cardio in, a little bit of low impact here. If you want to really take it up a notch, you can add a full sprint. All right. Maybe you do 10 seconds in that full sprint, and then you take it back to that jog or that walk. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 15 seconds of rest. And we go to our knee to elbow crossover twist. We're gonna start left hand back, right arm out. Deep breath in to prepare here on your exhale. Cross and rotate. 45 seconds. Really crunch down. Again, if we are lifting the leg up too high, then you're gonna feel that all from your hip flexor. So we wanna feel a nice balance of both. Lower abs lifting the knee in, internal and external obliques, working that rotation from the trunk and torso. Make sure we're not cranking on the head. Rotate your spine. Beautiful. 15 seconds. Open everything back up. Again, remember, it's just a light toe tap, so your left leg is doing a lot of work to balance and stabilize you for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 15 seconds. Moving into the other side. Finding that setup, leg nice and long. Try to stay tall here so you're not leaning over to the other side. Balance upright. Deep breath in. Exhale, cross, knee to elbow. Knee to elbow. There you go. Really work the breath here. So important. Crunch. Think about pulling your navel into your backbone as that elbow is coming across, making more space to make a connection if you can. Halfway. Keep pushing. Remember, we only have 2 rounds, so you're not going to see this exercise again. So give it all you got here. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 15 seconds to rest. Awesome job. We've got 2 more movements. Holding that goddess squat. We've got that side to side crunch coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Heels in, toes out. Drop it low. Hands go back behind your head. Twist. Actually, crunch to the side. No rotation here. Side squeeze. You stay nice and low, and your pelvis must stay steady here so we're not swinging that hip from side to side. Just the torso is moving. Elbows nice and wide. Knees are pressing back. You're staying so low. Beautiful job. 10 seconds. 5. Always counting seconds, not reps. 3, 2, and 1. Stand up. Shake those legs out for a second. 15 seconds to rest before we go into that forward crunch. I'm going to turn to the side so you guys have a better angle of the posture of the spine, making sure the pelvis stays nice and steady. Heels in, toes out, hands returning back behind your head. We're here for 45 seconds. This is our 5th and final movement of the sequence. Deep breath in, exhale, crunch forward, get as low as you can. Flexion of the spine. Inhale, stack the spine tall. Exhale, crunch. Inhale to stack. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Beautiful. Get low. Curl the abs up as you round the spine forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand tall. We've got a full minute of rest here, probably a little bit longer because I need to explain the exercises of circuit number 2. So like I said, we're gonna be down on our hands and knees here. We're gonna be moving from a hovering tabletop to a kick through. So what that'll look like is knees will be positioned right underneath your hips. You're gonna float your knees up, finding transverse abdominal connection. So you don't want the back to arch or the spine to round. We wanna hold nice and neutral position. I wanna feel like you're constantly pulling your wrists and your knees together. You're gonna stay low here. You're gonna pick up one arm and you're gonna kick the opposite leg through. Returning back through that hovering tabletop to change to the other side. See if you can kick your foot to your opposite hand as you take that kick through. So again, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest. Lots of stability happening there. Now, moving into our second movement, we're gonna be moving in that kind of same position, but now you're gonna be actually setting the knee down, going into a modified side plank. I want you to take your top leg up to a hover, and then you're gonna do that rotation again. Opposite knee and opposite leg and arm are going to lift. You're gonna open your body into a T position here. You should be really light on your hands here because we're trying to float everything up as we work into that alternation. Exercise 4 and 5 are gonna come into a dip here. You're gonna dip down and back up. Dipping down and up. 45 seconds one side, we'll take that 15-second rest. You're gonna find that same exact position on the other side, dipping down and back up. Again, we shouldn't be sinking down all the way. We wanna stay light on that hand so we're not putting too much pressure on the wrist. Top leg is floating ideally, but if you need to set the toe down, that's a beautiful variation. Final movement is going to be a modified tabletop teaser to a low 100. So we're gonna start in modified teaser tabletop here. Arms are gonna be reaching out. You're gonna take it down to a low 100, and then I want you to lift and alternate whichever knee is coming up. You're taking it down, alternating whichever knee is coming up. Now, if that's too much for you, take your hands behind your knees and go as low as you can and assist yourself back up here. This is a beautiful modification. All right. Like I said, I knew that was gonna be longer than a minute's worth of rest, so we're gonna get started right away with that side-to-side sweep here. Take your tabletop up here into a hover, and here we go, alternating kick throughs for 45 seconds, reaching opposite hand to opposite foot. Stay nice and low, nice and steady, almost like you're moving through a bear crawl position. Lower abs are firing up. Good. We've got 20 seconds. Stick with it. Good. Nice and low. Beautiful. Fight for that reach to the opposite toe. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. 15 seconds rest. Again, holy buckets. Heart rate's really firing up. We're gonna move to our alternating kneeling side planks now. All right, we've got 5 seconds. All right, whatever side you're gonna begin with, position that hand and knee down. Let's go ahead and open. Float the leg if you can. Light on those hands as you transition. Float the leg if you can. Reaching those arms to a T. Open and lengthen. Lift your obliques. Try not to let your bottom hip sink into the mat. Inhale. Exhale as you're passing through center. Inhale. Exhale, passing through center. Yes, 15 seconds. Keep going. Again, nice and light through those arms. Keep your core active. Feel like it felt when you were hovering your knees up for 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Now we're gonna go into that kneeling side plank where we just came from, but now we're gonna hold it and add our little hip dip. So go ahead and find your position here. Take your arm up. Hand can go behind the head too if you prefer that. Hover the top leg, lower and lift here. Lower and lift. You're gonna feel a ton of glute work in this one. That bottom glute is gonna be on fire. It might even start to cramp. Do your best to not rely on the work in this seat. Try to really feel the lift up from those obliques here. We're halfway. Good, keep firing. If your wrists just can't take that pressure and you need to move to a knuckle, beautiful option. Just do not sink into the shoulder. Push the floor away. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna take it to the other side. Again, 15-second intermission as we transition. Again, opposite leg is kicking out. I showed you that option of setting the foot down, so just remember that is always available to you. Here we go. Hand up, hand down. Take it low into a dip and exhale to lift. Low into a dip, exhale to lift. Again, really trying to focus on the obliques here. Oh my goodness. My top leg, my top glute is burning up because of the dips on the first side. Oh my goodness. I might need to set that foot down, but I'm gonna fight for it for this first round here. We are so close, almost there. Another 10 seconds, keep pushing. Exhale as you take those hips up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that brief 15 seconds of rest. You're gonna make your way onto your bottom, and we're gonna go into that modified teaser hold to low hover. I call the low hover the 100 position. It's also known as a hollow hold. And then you're gonna alternate lifts. I showed you that modification of behind the knees, so meet me there. If you need to, you're gonna take it down and lift. Hover, alternate, hover, alternate. Try to hit the low back to the mat as you're hovering, getting as low as you can go, doing your best to not pull up with just your hip flexors. If your hip flexors are taking over, highly recommend you putting your hands behind your knees so you can stay into your abs. This is fire, you guys. 10 seconds, we're so close. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it down into a long body stretch. Open everything up. Elongate, big reach back here. Release the core, release the hip flexors. If they started to do some of that work for you, it's okay that they are activating a little bit, but we really want to target those lower ab muscles in that last exercise. All right, we've got one more round through circuit number 2, starting with that hovering tabletop kick through. We've got about 15 seconds of rest left. And we have got one more round. We can do it, you guys. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it up. Kick through. Opposite hand is reaching to opposite foot. Do your best to stretch that leg out. Good. Try not to lock out those elbows. Keep a soft bend so your chest and shoulders are firing up and stabilizing you. Watching that timer here. 15 seconds. Keep pushing. Remember, this is our last round. Heart rate is really going to get fired up on this round too. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it down. We are moving into alternating kneeling side planks. Woo, all right. Hands down, tabletop position. Go ahead and begin. Float that top leg up as you can. Stay light on your hands as you're alternating. Inhale, exhale through center. Inhale to open, exhale through center. Again, I always say it's not a race. Quality over quantity. I'm always counting seconds, not repetitions here. Ten seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds of rest. And then we go into our side plank hip dip. Woo. How we doing? Great job. Keep pushing. We're so close. Hand goes down. Float that top leg up. Top hand behind head or top arm reaching. You're going to dip and lift. Dip and lift. You're doing awesome. Stay with me here. We are almost finished. You're doing so good. 30 seconds. Again, that glute will be firing up, but really feel that top hip and rib shoot up towards the ceiling, focusing on that oblique work. 10 seconds. I find it helpful to not go quite as low, otherwise my glute is going to do all of that work. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We've got 15-second rest before we transition to the other side. We are so close, you guys. All right, don't quit on me. 2 more movements. We can do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hover the top leg if that's available. Hover the top arm. We should have done this side first because, like I said, that top glute from the first side is lit up right now. Burning. It's about to cramp. Woo. Again, if you need to set it down, that's an option, but keep pushing. It's only 45 seconds. But again, quality movements over quantity. Lessen the dip, increase the lift. Beautiful. 10 seconds. Push it out here. Push, push, push through. Almost there. Yes, you can. Send that oblique up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yes. Rest for 15 seconds. I think this is the hardest exercise of the whole entire workout. So make those adjustments as you need to, but this is it. This is our final push. You're gonna find that modified teaser position, knees up. This is also known as a boat pose. So you might reference boat pose. You're going to low boat or that 100 position, alternate lift, hover, alternate lift, hover, alternate that lift. Stick with me here, stick with it. We've got 30 seconds, so close. Take those hands behind your knee if you need that assistance to lift. You could take one hand behind the knee to lift, one hand behind the knee to lift, or both hands behind the knees and not going quite as low. Yes, you've got options. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Long body, stretch it out, open up. Oh my goodness. Big reach here. Lift your belly, lift your ribs, really stretch back, open it all up. 3 deep breaths. Let that heart rate come down. Exhale. One more time, big breath in. And exhale, go ahead and pull both knees to your chest. And just give me a quick rock on up to your seat. You made it. Great job through ab blast.